If you think I was trying to be high and mighty in my video saying that if you hate Endeavor, it kind of feels like self-projection, then you didn't hear me. I was so careful in the way I said it, and I actually, like, I don't want to get into who it is, but there's someone in my life very close to me that has the worst dad freaking that I've ever seen in my life. So I get the, like, validity of really hating Endeavor because you had a terrible dad. And I think that's so fair. Granted, what I was trying to say is just living in a place of hate in general in life is not a place to live, in my opinion. I think that it is healthy to try to find peace with what has happened to you, regardless of if it's unfair, regardless of if it's not okay. And I think someone who hates Endeavor is a sign that they haven't done the work to try to get to a place of peace, which again is their prerogative if they want to live in a place of hate. I just personally don't think that's any way to live. And I think therapy is so healthy. Me saying that, like, I think a person that feels that way, like, maybe should look into, like, working through these things with someone was offensive to some people, but to me that tells me that you're still living in a place of, like, therapy is unhealthy and it's for, like, broken people, when I think everyone should be going to therapy. I think therapy is the best freaking thing ever, or life coaching, whichever you prefer. I'm, like, a huge therapy advocate, but it's interesting when I made that post to see how many people still live in a state of mind of, like, that's an offensive thing to say. And I was that way when I went through my personal trauma that I don't feel comfortable just, like, saying right here, right now. But it's pretty dang bad. And when I went through it, I was like, therapy, no. And when I finally did it, I was like, I'll never be that way again. So if that's what offended you about my video, I'm sorry, but, like, we're to a place in the world where I think we should know that therapy is amazing. Endeavor trying to change is better than him not doing anything at all. Like, you can still hate him. Granted, anyone can just, like, hate a character. I get that. But I think it's interesting that a lot of people don't hate on the villains that are murderers, but hate Endeavor. And it feels like it feels like it's because of daddy issues, which I do not say lightly. I do not say unkindly. Again, I understand it. I think it's so valid. Horrible dads literally, like, ruin the world. Like, I get that. I totally get that. But I just think I struggle with the fact that we pretend that murder is not as bad as what he did. People try to say he raped. He did. He bought his wife. Granted, that was consensual. She wanted that. And he made her have more kids, and marital rape is totally a thing, and I'm not invalidating that at all. But it's a little different than, like, they're both horrible. But, like, it's a little different than, like, you see a girl, you attack her, you rape her. They're both terrible, both are wrong. The point I'm trying to make is I do not think he is worse than the murderer, like, villains that we see in all of these series. And people treat him like he is the worst character that has ever been seen when he is trying to change, which is better than not trying to change, which is what a lot of villains that you love aren't trying to do either. I don't know. Does that make sense? Again, if you think I'm standing on a high horse, you misunderstand me. I say this with so much empathy. Like, the world is a really horrible place, and horrible fathers play one of the biggest roles in that, and I totally get that. But at the end of the day, I would take a character that's trying to change over him not trying to change at all. Whether you forgive him or not is completely up to you. Whether his kids forgive him or not is totally up to them. I'm not saying that they have to. But his is, I said it wrong in my last video, his is an atonement arc, not a redemption arc. He doesn't need anything from anyone. He's like, I want my kids to go and be happy whether or not I'm a part of that. I do not need anything from them if they do not want anything from me. So the Endeavor hate is too much for me because I believe people can change, and I think that he's trying to, and I think that he was a horrible, horrible man. If you could see my reaction videos, I hated him so much. But I do think he can change. And that's just my take. And if you disagree, that is more than fine. I cannot express it enough. I just wanted to be the voice on the other side of things because I see so much Endeavor hate and no one ever really stands up for him. So